What's going on, guys? It's Miles back with another live stream. Let me hit the mic check really quickly. As you guys come in here, please hit the like button. Just double tap the screen on these vertical lives. Let me make sure this is going correctly. All right, there we go. Audio is working just fine. So, we have a very critical topic to talk about tonight. Just me contemplating the role, the past few days, just thinking about society, the trajectory of it. More importantly, the plight of men. We are in a sad state, and it's because of the society and the way it is constructed. It is constructed against men, instructed for men to suffer, instructed for men to not thrive in society. This is how everything is constructed. And we're going to go into it and we're going to reveal some of the harsh things that men are dealing with, men have come to the conclusion about, and how it will affect society. It is quite sad. What's going on, introvert? Organized truth, are we on the wrong side of the truth with the small mustache guy? Um, nah, he deserved I'm not gonna get into that. This guy, he deserved what he got. What's going on, handyman? I'm not gonna say the rest of that. But what's going on, introvert? Yeah, we have a very critical topic today. Men are in a very nihilistic state mentally, and everybody is ignoring it, which only makes it worse because when you're already checking out of society and checked out, and then you realize that nobody's begging you to come back, nobody's trying to convince you to come back, it pushes you even further down into the abyss, which can have self-deletion consequences if we're being honest. What inspired this live stream, and this is going to be a very serious live stream, um, insightful, yet can be a little reality based. I know a lot of people are not really into reality, but we got to talk about this because this is the truth, and we need to talk about it. That nobody is examining this, and I will be tasked and I take on this job. Dave Ramsey recently he did a podcast, and I watched a recent episode of him going back and forth with Ice Coffee Pod, which is Graham Stephan and his co-host, and they got to the part of the workforce and how men in society are not valued, and they talked about relationships a little bit. And Dave Ramsey pretty much confirmed everything. I was pretty shocked. He didn't go off on a tangent like he normally does on young folks for being lazy. He showed some empathy. He said that the young generation of men, the Gen Z men, and hell, just men in general in the Western society, 7 million of us, working age men, just do not want to work. And we don't want to work for various reasons. A lot of it has to do with the way our society is constructed, the culture and the messaging that has been taught to young boys from a young man all the way until his adolescent years, all the way until his young adulthood. You get to a stage where you keep hearing negative things about men and masculinity. And after a while of years of programming and hearing this over and over and over again, you start to believe it. And unfortunately, men have started to believe it. It's going to be hard to convince men not to believe it because they've been conditioned and brainwashed their whole life to think that they're evil. It's quite sad. You can't keep telling men that masculinity is evil and then expect them to be strong men that are going to provide and protect the society. A lot of men see no advantage to being men. Some of them even turned into women. They become trans people. When men look around today, the people that get the advantage are the women. They get what they want while men are left to their own devices. It's quite sad, the state of our society and its messaging and views towards men. Men are a cornerstone, an essential part of civilization. And the moment within a society that you tell them that they are weak, that they are below women, that women are the prize and men are just sacrificial lambs meant to never be happy, it affects your society in a negative way. Typically, this is the indication of the collapse of a society. It's unfortunate, but this is where we are. I'm going to get further deeper into this, and if you guys are liking this so far, please double tap that the like button, double tap the screen. We're going to read a couple of chats, and then we're going to get more into this deep, profound game. Watching this on the replay, hit the like button. Introvert has a couple of comments. I'm hearing a lot of women calling men on the internet zesty for always complaining about men. But if there is a real life issue going on, we have the right to complain up to a certain extent. Yeah, that just goes to show you how below they think of you, how lowly they think of men. If something bad happens in society, they're going to go find a man to seek his protection and guidance. Yet they talk down to men and expect men to cower down to them. It makes no sense. Women say they don't like men, but when they need help, they go find a man. Isn't that ironic? They can't help themselves. Introvert further writes, they just don't want to hear the truth of what's going on in society. They absolutely don't. And it's unfortunate because how can a society truly advance if we're neglecting the truth? The only way to get progress in your own life and in society and just to make progress, period, is to accept the reality of where you are currently and change it through practical action, step taking, etc. That's the way of deflecting, their way of deflecting. It absolutely is. Men are at a state right now where they just don't see the point anymore. And granted, yes, some of you guys are not at that point. Maybe some of you guys can get women. We're not talking about you. We're talking about the majority. A lot of men today just do not see the point anymore. They are really checked out, not checked out, and they're detached from all of it. They're not participating in the game whatsoever. Men today feel unwanted, neglected. They really feel unneeded, if we're being honest. A lot of men feel unneeded, like their presence isn't respected, like they're not a necessary part of livelihood. We've been preaching these messages of masculinity is toxic and masculinity is evil and all these different things for so long that it's going to be hard to reverse the damage that has already been done. You can't teach from a little boy all the way up until his adulthood that he's the problem and then expect him not to believe it. It's like a elephant. If you put a stake in the ground and you rope it to an elephant's leg, he'll try to pull on it as a young elephant, but he can't pull it out the ground just yet. But if that stake stays in the ground long enough, he'll eventually believe that he's stuck. Even he'll develop into a grown adult elephant and still won't budge, still won't move because he believes that he's stuck. He can't fix his problems. A lot of that is going on with men today. Men are that little elephant stuck with the stake in the ground, trying to pull on it, trying to scream and voice grievances. None of it is being heard. It's a shame, isn't it, how men can have voice standards and have these certain things that they want women to do in relationships. Yet, when women hear these things, they never obey them. They very rarely obey them. Women desire so much for you. They desire so much from you, but give you so little in return. It's quite sad how we've let society get this far out of control. Just think about relationships in general when it comes to family. Whether men want to admit it or not, family gives us purpose, the vast majority of us. Have you heard those stories where men, they felt lost, they felt like they didn't care about anything? Because when you don't love yourself, you're willing to do whatever. You're willing to take drugs, you're willing to have vices, you're willing to throw your life away. But when you have another life to take care of, that gives you purpose and makes you snap out of it and makes you a better person. So there is a percentage of men that need family. They actually need it. It gives them motivation. It gives them a desire. It wakes them up in the morning and makes them a better person. But the way our society is constructed with the way it's brainwashed brainwashed women into feminism, making them undesirable to date. Even if you do date them, you got to have an escape plan because women break up these relationships and marriages left and right. So the way our society is constructed with the different laws and how they advantage women and incentivize women in some cases to be single or to break up the family, men can't have their purpose of having a family, being a father to children and being around those children each and every day. He has to risk it through marriage or through child support and 50-50 custody with his fate in the hands of the government, lawyers, and a woman who's been raised as a young woman all the way into adulthood to be a feminist and think that men are the problem, to think that she can do anything a man can do, despite the physical strength differences, the goofiness. As we further examine this, we begin to notice the goofiness of the teachings, the propaganda. You begin to wonder, why are the elites, why are the media, what's the agenda behind this? Are we being co-opted from the inside out, from a different country, to make us weak from the inside out? Is this the elite's plan to kind of just blow up society and rule it in a certain way? None of it makes sense as to why we are heading down this trajectory. And what's even worse is nobody's trying to really fix it. They talk about it on podcasts. They talk about it in their real life and how bad dating is and how these bad things and how bad women have gotten and how bad men are. But nobody is really trying to fix anything. We're kind of just stuck in the middle of nowhere. We're in the gray zone, in no man's land, just kind of wandering around aimlessly with no purpose. And as we do this, we get older and older without children. We're not reproducing. So you begin to say, why have we constructed a society like this? I'm going to read a couple chats. You guys are more than welcome to hit the chat. We're going to get more into these talking points as we go into this live stream. Double tap the screen if you are enjoying this so far. Introvert has another comment. These so-called titles are starting to become the downfall of a lot of women. Yeah. Women are being laid off. It's starting to backfire. See, we're starting to realize that the DEI thing, it really didn't help men at all from any race. They say diversity, equity, and inclusion, but really who it really benefits is women. White, black, Latina, etc. When you look at the workforce and you look at who's in charge of the media, who's talking, who's in education, who's teaching, you see the majority of them are women. And it just goes to show you how they're subliminally messaging you to have women as your leaders. They'll have women in movies doing masculine things that they can never do in real life. Conditioning you that women can beat up men and are better than men. And you're a weak man if you don't let a woman walk all over you. And excuse me, we've even had men come up with goofy statements like happy wife, happy life, as if your life is just meant to suffer because of her. She's supposed to get everything, and you're not supposed to get anything. Your prize is just getting her itself. How ridiculous is that statement if you went to an interview and you said, hey, why do you deserve this job? Because I am the table. It wouldn't work. But yet men have been conditioned to accept that answer. And some men haven't accepted that answer, which is why they're single. Some men have come up with alternatives to go across the seas. It is what it is. Men are coping. The bottom line is, whether we want to admit it or not, men are coping in different ways. Coping with the harsh reality that it will be hard to attract a woman because of her unrealistic expectations and brainwashing. It will be hard to keep a relationship because of through all the incentives for her to break up the relationship. So men are struggling and coping with the fact that when he goes out for a job, a woman will have to lead over him and be a supervisor and manage over him. Men are starting to cope with this reality in different ways. Some men are coping with trying to get their lustful nature fulfilled by X-rated content, substitute a real woman for X-rated content, distracting themselves from the fact that he can't get a woman in real life. Or if he gets a woman, she'll be a heartache, a headache, and possibly a heartache because she'll break his heart because she has so many access to men, so many different accesses and points of contact with men that she'll probably break his heart because she'll have so many endless options to choose from. She'll inevitably come across a option that's possibly greater than you, which causes her to cheat. And so men are coping with the fact that relationships are probably not an option, at least not long term. Men are coping with this through video games. Since real life is so hard, it's so hard to get what you want in real life because in society, in real life, you're the enemy. It's hard for you to find a job. What's the purpose of you having a job if you can't afford a house to pay for a family? That in itself makes you unattractive to women because women want to nest. They want to have a place to stay. She wants to make money, but she also wants you to make more money, even though women flooding the workforce has stagnated wages, which is why wages aren't keeping up with inflation. We have to realize that we cannot have feminism and women fully working all of them if we want society and traditionalism to thrive. We have to eliminate it completely. But when I say these words, all they are just airs of hope, dwindling, swirling in the air. Men are beginning to feel the pressure. I can't provide, I can't get a family. And so you're coping with vices. You're coping with X-rated content. You're coping with video games. You have to go to a metaverse since your real life is harsh and difficult to deal with. You have to go to video games to get some sense of pleasure, to get some sense of escape. You have to construct what you want and desire in the real life and make it happen on the video game because it seems so far out of reach in real life. Men are coping in a multitude of ways. All of these different coping mechanisms, unfortunately, I didn't want to believe it, but it is true, unfortunately, and I'm here to talk the truth. Some of these coping mechanisms that men have when they're dealing with the harsh realities of their life in the Western society, it turns them into a black pillar. It turns them into an incel to a degree. Because you hate women, because you can't get women, because the way society is constructed, you can't keep them or maintain them. She's been conditioned, and through the financial economy, it's hard to keep them and maintain them. So you become black-pilled, you become nihilistic, thinking that there's no hope, And that's the harsh reality that men have today that nobody wants to examine. Men have lost all hope to a certain extent. Think about it. 7 million men, able bodied working men, don't want to work. They've lost hope. They don't see the point in providing, protecting. What's the point of being a man if I'm the enemy? What's the point of getting a woman if she's just going to divorce me? What's the point of working if I can't work enough to have a house, to house my kids, to house a family? When these corporations are buying up real estate and forcing you to rent, making you unable to own anything, especially a home. The walls are caving in. Some men deal with it better than others. Some of us, we keep fighting through it because that's just who we are. We're fighters. Even though we see what's going on, we still self-improve. We still go out and talk to women and approach women, even though we know how promiscuous they are, how most of them are not good wives or won't become good wives or girlfriends. We still press on. But still, a vast majority of men see no point. They see no point because they have no hope. And you have no hope, you don't even try. We're going to take a pause. If you're enjoying this live stream so far, on the replay or watching currently, please double tap the screen, hit the like button. If you guys want to hit the super chat all the ways you can, or the super chat button is on the screen. Introvert Further writes, you guys can more than welcome to comment in the chat room what your thoughts are. I will get to them throughout the live stream and read them out loud. Introvert writes, a lot of women who work as teachers are sleeping with their male students. Yes, and we don't speak enough about this perversion that women have. See, a woman's sexual appetite it's like a bottomless pit. Since she's the receiver and not the giver, she can just take all day. She's not the one putting in the work. And so when their sexual desires go unchecked, they do certain things like this. These nymphos, guys are like, I want a nympho. No, you don't, guys, because a nympho can go all day, every day. As a man, you can't do that. You're going to have to rejuvenate because you're the one that's putting in all the work, which is why whenever you ejaculate, she drains your energy, and that's why you want to go to sleep afterwards. But women, they're so stupid in their thinking that they don't think about this. Well, since I just put in the work and screwing you and humping you for 10 minutes straight, of course I'm going to need to get some recovery. I'm going to need to go to sleep. No, it's not because the sex is trash. But see, women, they're energy vampires and parasitic in nature, and they don't even fully understand it. And so what an introvert is saying right here when he says teachers are sleeping with their male students, that should be a crime and they should be put under the jail. We all know these teachers are just seeking intercourse because these male students don't have a job, they don't have anything. They're just fetishizing their the opposite version of this would be a man, grown individual, having intercourse with underage women. That wouldn't fly. This shouldn't fly. But yet it's so common in our time. Introvert further writes, which is very disgusting. It absolutely is. There's no excuse or justification for their actions at all. It isn't. I don't care how much they dislike men. I agree. Introvert further writes, I've accomplished certain goals in real life, not just playing video games. And I grew up playing video games for years. Well, yeah, I'm not saying, whenever I say coping through video games, I'm not saying every man who plays video games is coping. Some men play video games because it's a good release. It's fun. Some of the games are actually fun and good to talk about, or fun to play. So I'm not saying every man that plays video games is an incel or doesn't have goals in real life. But the metaverse is real. People would rather have a Sims character than actual be something in real life. And it's hard because, again, like for all the reasons I've just stated, our society is instructed, constructed to not prioritize men. It's ridiculous in society not to prioritize men because the men are the builders. We're the doers. We are the builders. We are the ones that put in all the hard work, the construction workers. Everything in society right now is because all the infrastructure and the different ideas and businesses and the way our lives have advanced is all due to men. So when we say men are on the back burner and we do not invest in men, of course our society is going to deteriorate in every way. That's the idiocy of not valuing the foundation and building blocks of society, which are men. And I don't know why we can't get over this concept of why do we have to trash men in order to pick up women? Why can't we just pick up women and build up men as well? But see, that's how you know the agenda is strong and well, is because they're constantly saying it's men's fault, never examining the role and how society and feminism has taught men to be weak. These disingenuous arguments. So, unfortunately, the future of society will look something like this. Yeah, introvert. I mean, I'm not talking about you, bro. So the video games thing, don't take that personal. I'm just introvert. For all you guys watching on this currently, introvert plays video games. He has a channel. Go check him out. And so I'm not, the video game thing is that's just, I'm not saying all men. But the future of society, unfortunately, will look something similar to what I'm about to outline. Since men are checked out of society, since families are deteriorating and women aren't having enough children because they're taught to be career women. Women are really a liability in the workforce. I don't know who thought, and this just goes to show you how the idiocy of who's constructing the elite, the people that are constructing society, how they didn't think this all the way through. Or maybe they did and they just don't give a fuck. Who knows? But women are a liability in the workforce. Well, Miles, why would you say that? Why would you say that women are a liability in the workforce? Well, eventually, women will be taught this feminism, and by the time she's 28, 29, 30, she'll be like, damn, I worked for so long that um, I want a kid now. And so she'll go to school, she'll get in debt, she'll do all these different things. And by the time she's early 30s, she wants a kid. And since she wants a kid and she is going to have a kid, she's going to be out a period of time depending on how many kids she has. That's how women are a liability in the workforce. You're running a business, you're trying to increase profits and business and get sales all day, every day. And you have this workforce of women that occasionally, a majority of them at some point are going to need time off for maternity leave. Well, since what if your best salesman is a woman and she's on maternity leave? That's a liability. You're going to miss out on money because she needs to go have a child. This is why it makes sense as to why you would invest more into men, because men, we can go have our wife, we can go be with our wife in the hospital while she's having the child, and the next day go back to work. Women will need months off, and then she'll need to come back and get that momentum back in the workplace to get that back up. And then some women, after they have a child, they actually want to just be around the child 24/7 and nurse the child, and they lose interest in their career altogether. So why are we investing so much into women in the workforce? It doesn't make any sense. What's going on, Chris? Nothing is taken personally. In fact, playing video games is one way for me to relax in my spare time. Exactly. I used to play video games quite a bit, and I'd still play them, but I have an obsessive personality, obsessively competitive personality. So I would be on the game right now, so the live streaming with you guys. But what's going on, Chris? So yeah, Introvert has a gaming channel. You guys go check him out. Chris has a sports channel talking about college football, which is ramping up pretty soon. So you guys go check him out on TikTok. I've been trying to catch your lives, Chris, but every time I check out live, I like at 7 or 8 p.m. I miss it or some reason. So our timing's off. But I'm gonna get over there and check you out pretty soon. And so the ridiculousness, society, back to the future of society. Since people aren't having nuclear families anymore, and we don't have any community because all this stuff it builds on one another. It affects one thing. One thing affects everything. You don't have family, you don't have community. You don't have community, society unravels very quickly. The structure, the fabric, the foundation is family. Family values, how you teach quality people through culture and beliefs and our religion or whatever. This is how we construct good human beings to progress and help society and push it forward. But we're digressing society. So since women aren't having enough children and not keeping up with the birth rate is ridiculous right now for you guys that are watching. The birth rate is around 1.6 and it's declining steadily. Since women aren't having kids, which is going to cause a labor shortage in the workforce because we don't have enough workers to work the jobs. What's going to end up happening is it's going to force them to invest even more into AI, into technology, to the point to where we're going to get to a point in society where it will be fully automated. I don't know what's going on, Mobile Dragon. I appreciate it, Chris. Would you say Chris writes, and you guys are more than welcome to comment your thoughts. I'll get to them in a second. And then we're going to get into the future of society and how the automation will further probably cause more problems. Um, because I don't know if you got people, since people can't get into relationships and people are turning to the metaverse and different avenues to cope with these things. Yeah, I hope you guys have been noticing that women are they're using Chat GBT as an emotional solution. People are going to crash out and become addicted to Chat GBT and fall in love with it and seek emotional support from it. It's actually ridiculous right now. That's actually trending pretty highly right now. Let me answer this question that Chris has. Would you say we have ruined the future of society by getting away from gender roles? Yes, we have, because we at this point nobody knows what anybody is supposed to do. See, if you are a man right now and you're watching this live stream and you're hardworking, you have a singular focus, you have goals you're trying to accomplish, businesses you're trying to start, etc. You don't have time. You don't have the time, the want to clean, to really cook for yourself. And it's not because you're dirty or anything like that and you just leave stuff everywhere. It's just that you become so focused on one goal that you forget to do these other things that traditionally a woman has done. And so nobody truly knows what their role is supposed to be. And so it causes issues because once a woman's working and you're working, okay, now you got a different bill now. You guys are already scraping together just to get by. And now both of you guys are working and you just had a child. Now you got to push the child off the daycare. And really, the part that nobody wants to admit is the reason why people send their kids off to public school is because they use it as a daycare. They know private school is a lot better, but they can't afford it. They don't want to the woman doesn't want to homeschool. They don't even know how to really homeschool their children anymore. And the gender roles have been screwed for so long that women really don't know how to cook anymore. They really don't, unless she's a Mexican or a Latina or an Indian woman. They don't really know how to cook anymore. And so the gender roles are completely gone. This is why we have a rise of stay-at-home sons, stay-at-home fathers. All these things are taking a toll. It's not just that, Chris, the gender roles, but it's a combination of all the different things tacked on with the gender roles problem that just compounds the issues going on in society. It's quite sad. Women are a liability not only in professional life, but in their personal life, such as relationships, marriage. Yeah, because they can't lead themselves. A woman to her left to her own devices self-destructs. Look at all these women that are single. They're not thriving. Most of them aren't. They're struggling when it comes to finances. They don't know when to stop spending. They keep thinking that going to college today means something. It doesn't anymore. Most of the degrees are going to be taken by, most of the degrees are BS. And college is scamming you out of thousands of dollars. Because once you get out of college, you can't find a job, which lets you know it's a scam. And so she's done this, and there's a woman going around where she's a neuroscientist, and it's because, well, she's not an actual neuroscientist, but she does research for neuroscientists. And so she's done bachelor's and master's and doctorate, and she has all these different types of education and all this debt, but none of that correlates to her finding a higher paying job. And so women, they're misled from everywhere, and they're followers, of course. They're just following the lead of what they're being told in school, feminism. through other women, their mothers, unfortunately, their grandmothers, their friends. They're all misleading each other. You often see this in relationships too. Women will get around each other, and these group of women, they will tell a woman who's in a relationship, which the relationship is thriving, but that she'll let her friends get in her ears, and then she'll break up the relationship. Why? Because a woman instructed her to, because of maybe one or two minor issues. Now she's back on the market again. She can't find a relationship. She's been getting stroked and ran through for the past 3 to 5 years. She's 32, talking about dating with intention. She has a kid. Women compound the issues, bro. They need leadership. They don't know what the hell they're doing, right? Just look at women driving. They can't even drive. Guys, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I don't know about you guys, but when a woman gets behind the wheel, I cringe. I would rather drive because women can't drive. Women can't lead themselves. They lead themselves into a burning bush. Then you have women like Vivica Fox, who is 60 years old, talking about she's still dating. Guys, lost, misguided, and undecided. They cannot lead themselves. They will lead themselves to singleness, to being a single mother. You guys seen that in a recent video. Women are starting to notice that once you become a single mom, nobody wants to take you seriously. And oftentimes what hurts women the most is this. And this is why women can't be leaders. Women lie way too much to themselves, to the people around them. They push themselves into a delusional space. And guys, you cannot make progress. You cannot change your situation unless you accept truth and reality. Some women right now are in relationships and they know the guy is cheating, but they lie to themselves and they stay in that relationship. So since women lie to themselves all the time, they lie to you all the time. Why should they be leaders? They shouldn't be leaders, and they need to be guided. Think about it. You have women that will go wear whole bikinis in front of their kids, having her butt cheeks flapping on the beach, being a terrible example for her daughter. And then she'll go out and dress in all provocative clothing in public, arousing sexual thoughts in different men. And she wonders why she gets creepy stares and why she gets approached. And secretly down in her consciousness, she doesn't want to admit it, but she values the possibility of sex. She likes the thrill, the attention, the rejection. And so let me get more into you guys' comments. He said something, let's see, a lot of women nowadays only rely on fast food more than cooking. I think Trey Songz posted on IG about that a while back. Yeah, they can't cook worth a damn. And it's ridiculous. They want you to eat them out, but their pH levels are messed up because they're eating so much negative, bad food. It's disgusting. He said something about how women were born after 1993 don't know how to cook. They order DoorDash, Uber Eats, and McDonald's something, and that just increases your spending even more. That traditional Big Mac you used to get for $6 now is $13 because you got to pay for the delivery fees and now tip. Further pushing you into bad financial decisions. Chris says, bro, for real, women will break up with you because you don't have to do 2 of the 10 things she wants, but you doing a great job with the other 8. Exactly. And that's usually because of her girlfriends who are unhappy, worthless, sucking in life, getting ran through themselves, being dissatisfied. They want misery. Misery wants company, so they're single and lonely. They want her to be single and lonely, so they try to tell her every little thing, they nitpick every little thing that she does, and then the woman's like, you know what? That is a problem. Let me break this. I shouldn't be taking this. And then she breaks the relationship up. It's goofy as hell. These females should stay out of their so-called homegirls relationships if that's the case. They absolutely should, especially if you're a single woman talking to a woman in a relationship. Women give terrible advice. Growing up, you would talk to your mom, you would talk to your sister, you would talk to your aunts, and you would ask them and see like, what's the right way to get a woman? And then you try to implement that way, and oftentimes it gets you used, abused, it doesn't work. It falls on deaf ears. Women's advice doesn't work. Why? For what I just said, it doesn't work because it's grounded in delusion, lies. It's unfortunate, and I'm not saying that your mom or sister or anything like that, or anybody's aunties are bad people. It's just that typically the advice they give is the man that they're seeking currently in life. If she's single and at 50 years old, well, yeah, she wants a man. She said, yeah, she wants a man to cook, and she wants the guy to buy her flowers and tell her that she looks beautiful. But we all know who's been in the field. A young woman don't want a whole bunch of validation. She already gets a whole bunch of validation. She wants something that's different. She wants an asshole, which is why they date assholes in their younger years and they get the simp as they get older. Because of jealousy, if not envy, I don't have a car or never driven. Does that mean I can't successfully pull women at all? Um, I don't know how you can transport her to your place if you want to have intercourse. I'm not saying you're a failure. Car loans and car debt is a bad thing. The car market is terrible right now. I wouldn't recommend anybody get a vehicle right now unless it's a used vehicle. The vehicles are overpriced. They're not worth the quality. They malfunction. So, you can get it done. You're gonna have to Uber the girls over to your place, I guess. Enough to make you want to investigate your girl's so-called friends when they search certain stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Mobile Dragon, then they tell you to be nice. That doesn't work at all. It absolutely doesn't. That's the most disingenuous lie, just to be nice. Nice guys always finish last. There's no incentive for you to be nice. And shout out to you, Mobile Dragon. You've been commenting quite a bit, making a lot of sense. I'm going to make you a moderator. Yeah, also a lot of these vehicles are facing recalls. Yeah, our American-made vehicles. I was reading an article today where Ford is going into the EV market. I'm like, why? Henry Ford would be appalled. The American Henry Ford American vehicle is going EV. Lets you know what kind of decline we are in America. And plus, the Fords are not even good cars anymore. They're terrible cars. At least on a Honda or a Toyota, you know the shit ain't gonna break down. That shit is cheap as hell, but it ain't gonna break down on you. And shit, the parts is cheap as hell too. It's gonna last long, and the parts is cheap. The maintenance on it is cheap. The gas on it is cheap. There are over 100,000 Ford pickup trucks are being recalled, and yeah, they're not even really good trucks. At that, Honda and Toyota have been holding up for decades, bro. Them cars last you a lifetime, homie. The most dependable cars. And as an American, I would want to buy an American car, but there's not really any incentive. Our domestic manufacturing doesn't produce any quality cars anymore, excuse me. And plus, all the nice vehicles anyway come from different countries, BMW, all that stuff. It's German. So, I mean, the only true, I guess, American type vehicle that people drive on a consistent basis is what that what's that kind of Jeep looking thing? I forgot what it's called. Bro, my new car just had a recall, and my Honda Civic has been going strong for 175,000 miles. Bro, talk about it. Bro, them Hondas last a lifetime, bro. I promise you. Homie, if anybody want to get a car, an introvert, you looking to get a car, bro, and you looking for something cheap, go get a Toyota, go get a Honda, bro. Don't even look nowhere else. You talking about, don't even worry about trying to impress no woman. As long as you have a nice place, the women don't care. As long as you take care of the vehicle, meaning that the vehicle looks presentable on the outside and looks good on the inside and it smells good on the inside. As long as you have a nice place, you don't give a damn about the vehicle. Dodge has been going through electric for a little bit, but they are now starting to backfire. Now they're trying to bring gasoline powered engines. Yeah, the car market is screwed. The American car manufacturers, we will lose to China absolutely. There's no where we will lose that battle. These newer cars not even built sturdy anymore. Nope. Nope. And so yeah, I mean, we're going to a society, since relationships are breaking down between the sexes and we aren't reproducing. It's going to force people to it's going to force the business people and everybody to automate damn near all the jobs. Have you guys seen that those videos going viral in China, where those people, they have literal 18 wheelers that are self-driving? Guys, the blue collars are getting shit. We thought, just women typing on the desk is getting put out of the job market in the workplace. Shit, blue collar dudes gonna be screwed too, bro. Nobody is safe from this AI disruption. So shit, I'm gonna have to pivot. Is why I'm going hard with this YouTube shit, Chris, because this shit ain't gonna be here. That trucking ain't gonna be here 10 years from now. Yeah, it is concerning, but I mean, we can't stop this AI race. This AI race is not gonna stop. And plus, none of this shit makes any sense, right? I mean, of course, we're in an AI race with China, but NVIDIA is still trading chips, H20 chips, with China because they need the chips in order for their AI infrastructure to work. I'm like, why wouldn't Trump just use that as a negotiation against China to leverage in our negotiation? It doesn't make any damn sense. And he just extended the tariffs, or the deadline, another 90 days. And it's just like, bro, he's frustrating the hell out of me, bro, because he acts like he has an infinite amount of time in office. China can just keep prolonging the shit because Xi Jinping is going to be in power for the next 30 to 40 years until he dies. Trump got till 2028, and then a new guy's going to come in. This AI could be used for physical harm for all we know. It can be. We hadn't even seen the whole ramifications of it yet, introvert. I wonder how the criminals are going to use AI for harm outside of hacking and cyber scamming and cyber stealing. Mobile Dragon writes, they've been warning us through movies, if you think about it. You know what, Mobile Dragon? I didn't want to believe it, bro. You know, you think you look at these movies as a young child, and you're like, oh, this stuff would never happen. Nope. They've been conditioning you for years to accept this reality. So shortly, everybody gonna have an AI robot just roaming around in their home, fixing and being a maid essentially. Guys, you know, this is really concerning to me. And I want to, this is why we do these live streams. We bring value to each other. We bring information to each other. You guys bring information to me. I bring information to you. You know that this woman, she was on her last dying bed and she was using Chat GBT on how to survive. I don't think you guys know the true ramifications of what I just said. So typically when you go to the doctor, when something's wrong with you, you go to the doctor and they diagnose you and all these things. This woman was actually using Chat GPT to extract what the diagnoses meant while also trying to plan around what's the best avenue to take to prolong her life so cancer doesn't take her life. That literally just ended a portion of the healthcare jobs overnight. And Chris, you know about this if you're still in here, about this Chat GBT number 5. It's better than ever. Can give you actual reasoning and converse with you like it's an in-person conversation. We're headed down a crazy path, guys. That's how, yeah, what's even dangerous about AI is that they can use it to distribute C-scan. Yep, especially if they get into the hands of the perverts. Exactly. It's ridiculous, bro. We're headed down a crazy trajectory. Everything we're doing right now is unsustainable. We can't keep going like this. The breaking point has to end up somewhere. And so you guys have been informed. You guys have the knowledge now, the insight now to pivot because everything is changing, bro. It's changing rapidly. And the vast majority of the average people in the average public, they don't see it. They're going to see it when it's too late. They're going to rebel when it's too late. Meanwhile, we'll already have pivoted and done something different because we have the access to the information. And so we're going to wind down on the live stream. I'm going to hop in the shower and then go to sleep. I don't know what's been going on with me, but I've been insanely tired the past few days, probably because I just been upping my exercise. As we wind down, hit your last little bit of comments, questions as we wind down. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this live stream. It was really real. I really dived into that really seriousness, reality tone tonight for you guys. Uh, you guys be looking for my next live stream this weekend. I'm thinking about either Saturday, can't decide yet, but one of those days we're gonna do an actual live stream on a horizontally, not vertical, where we go through clips and we look at different clips that women are, talking about or different things that's going on in society that are interesting right now. And we'll go through that and dissect that. So we're going to do that at least one day on the weekend, maybe Sunday, maybe Saturday. But my next live will be Saturday. I might do one Friday night if I'm up to it. I know some of you guys like the late night streams. A lot of you guys still be up at 10 p.m. and all that. So, all right, I'm going to read this last comment, then we'll get up out of here for the night. Introvert Life writes, you might have to end up pursuing a career in technology at this point. I'm not saying that AI is going to completely take over. Yeah, that's the only pathway, bro. It, anybody looking for anything, any other job outside of technology, bro, and you got to be specific on what kind of technology job you're looking at, because Microsoft and all those companies and Meta, they're laying off their tech workers left and right as well. So you have to specialize in something. And then the conundrum, the real question is after that is, okay, how long do those jobs last before those jobs get replaced, and what new jobs will be after that? So when this new tech field work environment that we're in right now, you're going to be endlessly trying to boost your skills. 10 years ago, a software engineer, you were straight. Now that means nothing. It means nothing. AI is also replacing programmers. Nobody's safe. Exactly, Mobile Dragon. Nobody's safe. Coding used to be, if you were a coder and knew Python, you were automatically in to make six figures. Now AI can code now. And so the job market is going to switch every 2 to 3 years. Really, it switches every 3 to 6 months, but by the time it gets to the public, it's every 2 to 3 years. And so you guys are watching this, and this is why on this channel we talk about the organized truth, the truth on this channel, because we have to know what's really going on in society so we can progress and pivot. So, but we still need to get other professions like doctors, lawyers, nurses. Absolutely, those jobs are still in HVAC technicians, etc. Yes, some of those jobs, most of those jobs, in fact, will not see any turbulence. There will definitely be some turbulence in all those fields in some way, but those will be much slower than a salesman or a data entry person or a clerk or whatever. So that's the live stream. I appreciate you guys coming in here again on this Tuesday night. It's been a pleasure as always. Excuse me, you guys go check out my video that I did earlier today at 1 p.m. That video was really sad to me, how women are just mentally insane, bro. It's really sad. So you guys go check that out. I'll be dropping some YouTube shorts tomorrow, and then I'll be dropping more short videos on Thursday and Friday. Even the most dangerous jobs, I wouldn't say they're not going anywhere, because they're trying to get robots in there, because these companies don't want the liability of people passing away and get injured. So they just rather a robot do it. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. You guys have a good rest of your night. Have a good rest of your week. Look out me from the live stream on this weekend, 1 p.m. on Saturday. And I will see you guys the rest of the week. We posting regular videos. All righty. Peace.